Am I the asshole? For pulling my offer to loan my DIL money after she called me a control freak? About a year ago my daughter-in-law opened a restaurant. My son is not involved and works full-time. I've eaten there when I visited their city and was not impressed. The food is decent but inconsistent, and that's about the only good thing I can say about her place. The soup is always lukewarm and sometimes the dishes are hotter than the food. The staff was rude and spent most of their time either on their phone or in groups talking. This meant it took longer than necessary to clean tables after diners have already left. On my last visit, the table next to me was empty yet full of dirty dishes for the duration of my meal. The restroom was never clean on any of my visits and was out of soap more times than it had soap. Last night, I had my children and their families over for Sunday dinner. During this visit, my DIL asked me for a $100,000 loan for her restaurant. She told me how her business is inconsistent and that's caused her to burn through their savings. We spoke for a while until I offered to loan it to her, but with some changes. I told her about the problems I listed above and options on how to fix them. She got very agitated at this and sarcastically asked how many restaurants I've owned. I didn't appreciate her response, so I answered, none, but I've never skydived before but know enough to not jump out of a plane without a parachute. That got the attention of everyone at the dinner table. Eventually she said the restaurant is hers, she doesn't need suggestions from someone who's never ran one before. I'll give her this point, and that I'm a control freak to try to tell her what to do with her own business. At this point I withdrew my loan offer and dinner was pretty much over and they left to go home instead of the original plan of staying until Tuesday. I haven't heard from my son this morning, but his siblings are split on the issue. Some said it's my choice to loan or not loan her the money, but I shouldn't tell her what she needs to do. Others said that I'm right, that if I'm putting my money at risk, I have a say on how she's running her place. She's asking for a large loan. You are understandably worried about if she will be able to repay you. Giving opinions on how to increase business in order to ensure your loan is a good decision on your part is valid. It's your money and your choice. If it doesn't seem like a good investment, don't do it. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She's asking you for a financial investment, and you answered like a financial investor. If she wants money without advice, she can try a bank or a credit union maybe. Not the asshole. Never throw good money after bad. Clearly, she's never run a restaurant before, either. Regardless, it's your money, your conditions. If she's not willing to listen to the customer experience, no amount of money in the world will save her business. I don't know about everyone else here, but I personally find it very inappropriate and crude for her to ask you for a loan at Sunday dinner around the rest of the family, and a $100,000 loan at that. I'm guessing you're loaded if you've got that kind of money just lying around. Additionally, my philosophy is to never truly lend family or friends money with the expectation of getting it back. It won't happen. Even if you still call it a loan, you might as well consider it a gift. Not the asshole. Restaurants fail at a very high rate sadly that have perfect service, consistent food, and huge bankrolls. $100K isn't a small amount of money and the restaurant can still fail statistically. Success is stacked against it. You are taking the risk. You aren't asking for partnership status. You are stating some basic concerns. Not the asshole. Loans come with conditions, always. She may feel that yours are invasive, but lenders often require business to agree to some things that are relevant to the business's ability to repay the loan. You're allowed to say I'll risk my money for a business that does X, and not for a business that doesn't. She's free to reject the offer. That's it. Not the asshole. Pouring a large sum into that restaurant without making adjustments as to how it is run would be bad business. I just wouldn't do it. Your DIL, being in the restaurant business, ought to know that there is no such thing as a free lunch. I very much doubt that she could get that kind of loan elsewhere completely without conditions. What exactly are her finances? You mentioned simple minor issues, however the bigger question is where did the money go? What is her business plan? Why in the world would anyone even consider offering a sizable loan without knowing where the money goes? Just go throw your money in the ocean. It will be a quicker, less painful loss. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She's only asking for a loan because the flaws you listed are the source of her money hemorrhage. TBH, I bet she got defensive because she hired in friends, and she's grasping at straws to avoid the inevitable impending conflict. Not the asshole, and you're better than me. If I was asked how many restaurants have you owned, I'd have answered none. How many $100,000 loans have you given to relatives? If you loan money to a business that's not striving to achieve and in fact is operating at a loss, that's not a loan. That's throwing good money after bad into a pit that will never return the investment. You were kind enough to offer a loan with minor conditions, much like a bank would, and it's still's loss if she doesn't accept. I can't understand how anyone could be split on this. Not the asshole. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Not the asshole. She's running a failing business and can't get a loan from anywhere else. This is why she's come to family. She's overextended and didn't appreciate your comments because it makes it obvious she's the problem, and she doesn't want to take accountability. Any money she gets will never be seen again, and I doubt her business is worth $100,000, never mind the rest of the money she undoubtedly owes other official channels. Neither an asshole nor a lender be. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She said herself the restaurant is inconsistent and you as a customer experienced it firsthand. As an owner she should appreciate your loan offer and also the feedback. I mean, of course there are strings attached with $100,000. Nobody just lends out money except banks expecting a high interest rate. In my opinion it's better to not loan the money. You probably won't see it again and it will cause a greater rift in the family as there already is. Not the asshole. You've never run a restaurant, but you don't need to know what you expect when visiting a restaurant as a customer. Until she addresses why her restaurant is failing, it's stupid keep throwing money at it. If a business is doing bad, losing money, putting more money into it and not making changes fixing the problems, it will continue to lose money. She will never be able to repay your loan. A good restaurant will listen to its customers. That is why they read Google reviews. If she was running the restaurant successfully, then she wouldn't need your advice or money. Tell her you are correct. I don't run a restaurant to give you advice. I also am not a banker to give out loans. If you need a loan, I suggest you go speak to a bank. Not the asshole. That's quite the chunk of change to ask for without any follow-up questions and concerns. Not the asshole. Tell her to go to the bank and get a loan there. Not the asshole. She is asking for a loan to prop up a failing business. As an investor you have a right to make some contingencies in exchange for helping her out. If she doesn't like it, she is welcome to find investors elsewhere. Nope. Not the asshole. Your money. Your choice. One cannot ask someone to invest in their businesses and simultaneously reject constructive criticism. Woman shrugging. That is not how life works. The reason her business has not been successful is due to the issues you pointed out. She needs to breathe and take a deep dive and address the problems head on. If not, she kisses the money she invested goodbye. Not the asshole. I adore my mother-in-law, but I could never imagine walking up to her and asking her for £100,000. Anyway, not the asshole. You're technically making an investment in the place until she pays you back. Why shouldn't you be able to give input on where you feel she's going wrong? You may not have owned a restaurant, but you are a customer who's giving an honest review. If she doesn't take feedback on board, her restaurant will likely always be a flop. Obviously not the asshole. $100,000 is probably a fair percentage of what the business is worth. You need to protect your investment. Any financial institution would look for changes for such a loan, especially after they went through the books. I'd stick to your guns if I were you. This might be the producer's situation.